Ever looked on ATP's website and wondered what all these certifications mean? If that's you, then look no further than this video, because I'm going to explain every certification you'll receive at ATP, what they do, and how they'll benefit you in the future. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Taking Flight. If you're new here, my name is Ethan Gregerson. I'm a CFI, CFII, and MEI, and also an ATP alumni. And in this video, I'm going to talk about, like I said before, all the certifications at ATP Flight School, what they do, how they'll benefit you, and what kind of privileges you'll get with each one. If you look on ATP's website, you'll see all these letters like CFI, CSEL, and you might be wondering what those mean. And in this video, my only goal is to clear those up for you so you understand what they mean and what they'll do for you in the future. Now, if you're unfamiliar with ATP Flight School, they have an airline career pilot program which earns you 7 certificates, and it will give you every certification that you need to build experience to get to the airlines and then formally apply. So let's break down all 7 of these stages so you can understand what each one does and why it's important. The first of these 7 stages is your private pilot certificate. This is the first certificate you're going to earn, so by default, that makes it pretty important, and here's why. The private pilot certificate lets you carry passengers as the pilot in command for the first time, and it's also a prerequisite to other licenses like later on the commercial pilot certificate. But although it lets you carry passengers, it doesn't let you get paid to carry passengers. We'll get to that later with the commercial pilot certificate. ATP says it'll take about 2 months to complete your private pilot certificate, and this will include some big moments in your flight training, like your first landings, your first solo, and then of course at the end of it, your first exam called your check ride. But once you take your check ride and earn your private pilot certificate, you'll have unlocked one new privilege, which is to be the pilot in command and carry passengers for the first time. Next up, we have the instrument rating, and this is actually an add-on to your private pilot certificate. The instrument rating might sound a little complicated because it's not actually a new certificate, it's just an add-on to your current certificate. But all the instrument rating essentially lets you do is fly only by reference to instruments or like in the clouds. But since airliners go through clouds almost every single day, this is a very important license to have. It's also a prerequisite to a license you'll get later on. So after you finish your private pilot certificate and your instrument rating, next you'll move on to your commercial pilot certificate. And you might be thinking, once you get to the commercial, you're all done, right? Well, not exactly. The commercial pilot certificate is a lot like your private pilot certificate, but there's one difference, and it's that it lets you get paid for your services to be a pilot. This commercial pilot certificate replaces your private pilot certificate and lets you get paid as a professional pilot. But as a brand new certificated commercial pilot, it's going to be very hard to find a job, so that's why ATP continues your flight training past the commercial pilot certificate. Also, on the website, you might see this as CSEL, and that stands for Commercial Single Engine Land, because at that point, you'll only be certified to fly airplanes with one engine. But that leads us to our next certification, which is your Commercial Multi-Engine Land. As the name implies, the Commercial Multi-Engine Land is an add-on to your commercial pilot certificate, and it essentially lets you fly planes with multiple engines. So now you're not limited to only one engine, but you can legally act as pilot in command for airplanes with more than one engine. After that Commercial Multi-Engine Land certificate, or the CMEL, we can move on to the next certificate, which is your CFI. The CFI is your Certified Flight Instructor, and you'll hear CFI thrown out a lot, and it's arguably one of the most important certifications you'll earn at ATP. The CFI, or Certified Flight Instructor certificate, enables you to actually teach the certifications we just went over, like the private pilot certificate and the commercial pilot certificate. The CFI is also an important certificate to have because it's the most common way to time build to get to the airline. In other words, the airlines won't hire you right out of high school, and they need you to build more experience, and being a CFI or a Certified Flight Instructor like me is the most common way to build that experience to get to the airlines. But you might have noticed I only said private pilot certificate and commercial pilot certificate, and the reason that is because there's another certification called your CFII. Your CFII stands for Certified Flight Instructor Instrument, which is an add-on to your current CFI certificate that essentially lets you teach instrument readings. So not only will you be limited to teaching private pilot certificates and commercial pilot certificates, but you can also teach people how to get their instrument rating or to fly in the clouds. So we covered almost everything. You can now teach private pilot certificates, instrument ratings, and commercial pilot certificates, but there's one certificate missing, and that is your MEI, your multi-engine instructor. Similar to earning your commercial multi-engine add-on to your commercial certificate, your multi-engine add-on is an add-on to your CFI certificate. Obviously, you're not only going to be teaching in multi-engines, so you're likely going to be exercising all 3 of these certificates at different stages during your time building experience, but nonetheless, they are all important to building your experience towards the airlines so that you can be a professional pilot at the airlines at some point. If you're just looking at the program or are interested in becoming an airline pilot, I really hope this video helps you. If you're curious about my experience at ATP, stay tuned for future videos as I'm working on some reviews for ATP and some other videos with some more information about the program. Okay, so I know I covered a lot in this video, but before you go, I want to tell you about an awesome company called Flight Sim Coach, who just so happens to be sponsoring this portion of the video. If you're a flight student or a sim enthusiast, which I know a lot of you guys are, you're definitely going to want to check these guys out. Flight Sim Coach is your at-home solution to becoming a better student student and a better sim pilot if you don't have access to an airplane, or if you're preparing for a check ride and you're having a hard time bugging your instructor to give you ground training to get ready. They do offer that valuable one-on-one ground training, but on top of that, they also offer the ability to have an experienced instructor provide instruction to you via one of the newest flight simulator softwares like Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane. As a flight instructor myself, I think that one-on-one ground training with an instructor and a student is the best way to get ready for a check ride or to become a better flight student. So check out the link below and schedule your free consult with them today. But with that, thanks again for watching. I really hope it cleared it up. Stay safe, stay proficient, and we'll see you in the next video.